guys, and welcome back to today's video on the channel. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the first ever FIFA 21 concept video on my channel. And I have never done a FIFA menu before at all, but I thought it'd be quite cool to obviously do one. And obviously, if you guys obviously are part of my channel, you guys would have known by now that I have been like mentioning it a couple of times on my streams lately and stuff, that it will be out at some point, and it is out now. So hopefully you guys are hyped for it and stuff, and I am too, for obviously the whole game coming out at some point. But anyway though, let's get into it. So obviously this is the central screen. This is the first screen that you will obviously see whenever you obviously start career mode up. So obviously we got the player matches there. So obviously that'll be your next match and stuff and all that lot. Personal training still there. You obviously got standings, obviously with the league table being there as usual. And then obviously got some new features, which is obviously the first one I think you guys might see is Edit Stadium. Now, I don't know if this will be in the game this year. It probably won't be for a couple of years, but still, if EA decide to do it, I think that'll be a great feature. Obviously, if they do decide to have, obviously, bring in Edit Stadium, like imagine be able to like customize your own stadium, like build stands and be able to expand, obviously, car parks and obviously that lot to go to get more fans in and stuff and everything like that. Be quite cool to obviously be able to build your actual stadium by obviously the money you have in your club, rather than obviously spend it on transfers and obviously stuff. So let's say, for example, you had like, I don't know, 5 million for your budget, and obviously let's say you're Liverpool, for example, you could still buy some for 5 million, but obviously as well, with that money being just sat there until next window, maybe if you wanted to be able to spend bits of it on either the stadium or other things that I'll get to in the video, which I don't obviously give away yet. I think that'd be quite cool to be able to do that, to be fair. It'd be quite a nice little thing to obviously make it a bit more realistic, obviously playing as like a manager, but obviously that's more of like an owner thing, honestly, like a chairman's job to obviously be able to edit stadiums and stuff. Also, we do obviously have at the bottom as well, like a little news bar, obviously, like breaking news, obviously with carriers and stuff, obviously, like little notifications basically. And obviously the transfer market or transfer centres there as well, with its obviously end dates, obviously it keeps reminding you, obviously, that it's there. Obviously, as well, in the top left corner, we do have the Jurgen Klopp name, obviously, and also the rating, and also the standing of your actual, position in the league. And obviously, Edit Manager is up there as well, rather than going to obviously the office and doing that. It's just there, so it's obviously easy to try and find it. Obviously, in the top right corner, as you can see, boys, we still have the like little category section as well. So obviously you can go over there and obviously go get the stuff that you could do, which is obviously like, I think there's like boost training and all that lot, and scout future stars and obviously financial takeovers. Obviously that's all that, and that's obviously still there. Still, I'll get that in there. Obviously as well, if you go to the next slide, obviously as we can see, Werner obviously is displayed on the news article now, and to finish off, it's just Chamberlain in the personal training thing. So obviously you can keep flicking back to obviously what's going on either in the news or whatever is obviously being displayed in the personal training thing. Nothing too say for special there, but I think the main part of this part obviously is the other teams, obviously that you can obviously keep up to date with obviously what's going on, such as like results. Obviously that's why I put Werner there, saying that he's got 3 goals against Leeds. That's just like, say, for a little example. That's all for the news. So obviously next one we will go to the squads, as you can see on screen now. So on this one shows your team lineup, the formation you're playing, obviously the players in your team that you picked. Squad hub, obviously that relates to your whole team, so that can obviously be changing kit numbers, or like seeing who's obviously on loan, or listing players can go on there as well. Like that's all in there to obviously, so you can obviously manage your whole squad. And on the far right side, we have the injury news feed as well, which I think is quite useful to obviously have there in your squad. So obviously you can see your injuries and all that, and obviously news on them and stuff. And the big one, I think, for this one would be obviously edit kit, which I think you can all tell by now. This needs to be a feature. I don't know if obviously EA will do it this year. They probably won't do, sadly, but they need to do this at some point in career mode to make it a bit more fresh. Reason being is the fact I don't like playing career mode each season and having the same kit. It's so boring. Like, you could be in like 2025 and have the 2020 kit. Like, still, it's so boring. Like, even if you could like even change the sponsor, or like, I don't know, the pattern in your kit, just to make it different from the first season in your career mode, That'd be so much better than obviously having the same kit and the same colours and everything like that, and all that nonsense in just in different proportions. Because otherwise, it doesn't really feel like you get anywhere in Kareem. It doesn't really feel like playing as much as you should be doing. Like, it doesn't feel worthy of doing it. So I think that needs to be a feature. I've also started working like on some concepts for like kit customization. So if you want to see that as a video, let me know down below in the comments because otherwise, I don't think I'll do it. Too fair, I don't know yet, but I'll let you guys decide what you want me to do. So yeah, that's pretty much for the squad one. And then to follow up, obviously we've got the different team change. This one's my cup team that I obviously just put together for, like, an example just to show you. So obviously you can just keep switching and stuff to your different teams. Obviously player edit, obviously that's still in the game. Obviously that I kept, and an update obviously on injury news again. So so far it's kind of basic, to be fair, the squad section of the career mode concept, but it's A4. There's nothing that needs to be really changed in it, just apart from obviously edit kits, really, in my opinion. So let's now talk about the transfer section. Obviously on the far left we got done deals. So obviously, as you can see in my career mode here, we've got obviously Messi going to City. Obviously it shows you the transfer and stuff, and obviously he's wearing a City shirt, so that's a done deal. We've got the transfer hubs there still. We've obviously got the market that I've got closed. Obviously we are in the transfer window, so that's why it's staying closed until it opens again. It will say opened. The scout instructions are there, obviously, as well. We do have some more transfer news at the bottom. Obviously, with Chilwell joining Chelsea for 50 million, and obviously it does show the actual source as well. Obviously, of Sky Sports. So that's quite nice to see. Obviously, like a little news source as well. And to finish off as well, I put a new little thing into the game, which is potential steals. This is, I think, quite a good concept, to be fair, to maybe introduce into a career mode. This is basically when you have a person or player that is linked with numerous clubs, not just one club, but numerous clubs. So let's say, for example, I don't know, Jack Grealish, for example, yeah, was playing for Villa, and I don't know, Everton and West Brom, let's just say, were linked with this player. So obviously that can be either going to West Brom or Everton, either way. And let's say you didn't know any information at all about Grealish's value, price, etc. like that, and you wanted to go get Grealish without even, like, say, for being on your shortlist, it would show you a whole list of players that are linked with numerous clubs that you can go and potentially steal from other people that have tried to get this player as well. So obviously, let's say, I don't know, don't go mad at me, but let's just say, for example, Grealish was, I don't know, 20 million, let's just say, and Everton put like a 22.5 million deal in for that, and West Brom paid 25 million. You could know literally no information of his value and just simply look at those offers that they put in for Grealish and simply beat them. So it's like a little quick turnaround from going to two different clubs to your club without even being linked with them until afterwards. So I think that'd be quite a nice little concept to do. Obviously, that can be with different players as well, but it's like basically being transfer listed, in other words, but not potentially, if you know what I mean. It's kind of hard to describe, but I might do like a little video on it, to be fair, like a little section of what I mean. But it's just a whole list of players that are linked to numerous clubs that you can go and potentially steal off other clubs that are linked, basically, in my opinion. That's the best way to describe it, I would say. So let's get into the next part. This part is the same page still, obviously, with the icons switching, that's all. So the first one is Lacazette joined Juventus. That's just, say, for, as most of them are, news articles or like news sources just confirming the deal, that's all. And then we've got player reports, which is when you scout a player and you're able to look at their stats, value, ratings, all that. That's there still. And I think personally, when you look at the transfer market or go into it, I think they should keep free agents separate from the actual market because they are free agents. So that's why I don't think they should be in the transfer market with other teams and stuff like that. I think it should be separate, in my opinion. That's why I put it. It's like a little icon itself on its own. So we're gonna go move on to the office now, which is obviously the screen. So you've still got the notification box, obviously with the whole like email inbox thing still being involved. we got the board expectations still there, financials and meetings. Now that should be a feature I think as well for career mode in the office and stuff, being a manager meetings, so you can like either hold these meetings with your training staff or like players, so like you can like a one-on-one meeting possibly to discuss contracts or like increased salary, etc. like that. That'd be quite cool. Or like, even like play performances, you can talk to them after like a game. For example, you could like bring the player that you've thought did well in that match, arrange a meeting to talk to them either after the game or during the week, and just talk to them, or even like in training. So let's say, for example, in training you had like a youngster. So let's say you brought like a youth player in. You can either offer him a contract in a meeting or just simply just talk to him about certain things, obviously to increase his morale and stuff, and obviously confidence. That'd be quite cool, I think, to obviously be able to build players' confidence up by obviously arranging meetings. That'd be quite cool, I think, to do. Financials is straightforward. That's just the same thing as it always has been, obviously with the whole budget stuff, and obviously board expectations should be separate as well, I think, so you can obviously see your clear objectives, what to do, and be able to complete them all easily. I've also still involved my career as well in that section as well for the next part, and just see your overall performances each season. So obviously your salary can be there still, your record, and obviously browse jobs can still be in that as well to obviously see if you want to go to a different team. Also, I did put an example in the bottom taskbar, obviously with Henderson arranging a meeting for Friday regarding his contract. That's why, as I mentioned a couple seconds ago, why these meetings should be quite important if they do obviously decide to maybe in the future add it to career mode, because I think it is more important to be able to obviously boost people's morale or your players' morale by talking one-on-one with them and stuff, and obviously contracts and a lot can be introduced as well, but they should have the same meetings or like negotiations like they do when you obviously try and buy a player, when you go to an office and you talk to their agent and player. That should be what it be like, but obviously without the agent being there, just like a one-on-one conversation. So I think that's why it should be quite important doing meetings in career mode, in my opinion. The next section is one of my favourite that I've actually done so far, that I've actually really enjoyed making and trying to think some ideas for. We've got a lot of stuff going on obviously in this section, but I'll explain it all. So the youth centre is just a whole list of your squad for your youth team. So obviously you can arrange like friendlies with your youth team rather than just having them sat in your youth academy doing nothing. That's why I think you should obviously be able to actually give your youth players games and stuff. So obviously you can play maybe as well, but I probably would just sim the games with the youth possibly. But it's just like a whole list. It's like basically having a squad hub, but obviously for youth. That's all. That's the whole point of the youth centre probably. Scouting network. That's just obviously your whole scouts, and obviously send them off to different countries and stuff like a certain amount of months, and obviously what you want to try and find. Um, Youth growth progression is when you're able to train your actual youth away from your main team, because it takes up more slots, and I think that's not only fair for your other team, like your other players that are part of your main team. You obviously, when you do training in FIFA now, you can merge like your youth academy with your main players, which it's not bad, but even if like not even promoted these players to the first team yet, the youth players, you should still be able to train them. I think that's why the youth thing should be involved, I think personally. So you can either like say for, you see in the bottom, uh, arrange one-on-one training or friendly matches to max potential. So obviously this will be able to increase their potential to be better and better, rather than just being sat in your youth academy all the time. And obviously we do have the fire youth, obviously, which you can just say for fire them off if you don't like them. And obviously at the bottom as well, we do have like another news bar again. Obviously with Raul Miro, left back, overall 63, potential 87 to 95, signed a 5-year deal. So there we go. Pretty simple, pretty basic. EA, definitely do that, please. I'll be happy with you otherwise. This is my second favourite section to be able to talk about now, and that is training. There's a lot of stuff going on obviously in this section as well. Let's start off with training slots. This is still the same as personal training, obviously with the whole 5 slots. You pick a player from any category, so defender, midfielder, all that stuff, and just pick a drill, do a simulation, boom, levels go up and stuff, obviously that improves. That's still involved in the game, I think. They should still keep it, just like tweak it a tiny bit to make it more fun to do. Um, Now, this one needs to be involved, I think, in career mode, and that's training matches. This will be so key just to be able to give your players and stuff a bit of recognition, I suppose, as well, and just test out players rather than just testing in game stuff. So let's say you played, I don't know, a pre-season friendly or just like a normal game, and someone gets injured and you want to bring someone up from the youth into your team to give them a bit of a chance. For example, so let's say Nico Williams for Liverpool. Let's say I want to play him and I don't know how he plays. I could do a training match and put him in the team and give him a bit of a go. And if I like him, obviously play him more by obviously seeing how he plays in his training game and stuff. So that'd be quite cool, I think, to do. And also just play with your players as well, really, that's all. And just work on things as well and see what areas you need to work on. Obviously, you'll be able to select your difficulty, so obviously ultimate, legendary, world class, etc. Be able to do that, and obviously whether you want to play your opponents as attacking or defensive, so you can obviously work on your attack or your defensive as well. I think it'd be quite cool. It actually has potential, I think, to be able to see, do that in career mode. I think personally, from what I wanted to see, I think that could actually do really well. I think in career mode training match, I think it could do really well. So EA, please do that. And then also we do have shooting practice, which wouldn't be every week. It would change each week, that section. It would go from 1 week shooting practice to next week, I don't know, dribbling, week after defending, etc. So obviously it'll give you like a couple slots for certain players to recommend to train and work on those things that they are weak on. So let's say, for example, Curtis Jones was in the recommended players to do for, I don't know, let's say passing. So you did that. Obviously, be able to increase his passing by doing that. That'd be quite cool, I think, to do. Watch training is basically when you get to watch training. So you can either preset it, so obviously you can have players doing training drills and stuff and all that lot, or you can go into like a be a pro or first person mode where you can look at certain areas on the pitch on the training ground and look at each group and see who's doing well and all that lot, and obviously negotiate whether they are doing well or not and talk to them, or just to scout who you want to play for next game and see if they are fit enough to play. I think that'd be quite cool as well, doing that, to be fair, being able to like look at your players and training rather than playing them as yourself and stuff. So you can like write like a little, or like, not, I won't say write, but just pick players for, you know, your next game, for example, just to see. So let's say you had like a big game. So let's say you played, I don't know, United, for example, next game, and you want to look at your players to see who'd be fit for it or who's looking sharper for that game. You could go into watch training and watch the players in your main team and compare them, or just anyone, to be fair, really, and just pick who you wanted to, who you think's doing well and give them a chance in that game. For example, I think that'd be quite cool to actually as well, doing that. Um, Obviously, as well, we do have goalkeeper practice there as well. So it's the same thing again. Different drills for keeping as well as shooting practice for the other ones for the outfield players. Then we got creative drills. That'd be quite cool, I think, to do as well. Potentially be able to um, set up certain drills, so like free kick tactics, so like rolling the ball to someone and then swimming onto it. You can save those as well in the create a drill section, and then when you come to like a free kick or set piece, you can actually set up your players in the what's the word in like a little section, or like you know what I mean, like the way you did it in that drill, they would set up like you did in that drill, and obviously be able to try and do your tactic in the game. So that'd be quite a cool thing to do. And obviously at the bottom you have another 34 little news section again as well. Well, it's more like a little tip bar actually, to be fair. It does say in the tip bar, creating your drills involves set pieces and play styles. So obviously, as I mentioned a second ago, you'd be able to go into there and just save your drills and do them in game for set pieces and stuff like that. But I think that'd be really cool to do actually, to be fair, rather than trying to think it all out and stuff and say how you want to do it and stuff. I think it'd be quite cool to do that. EA, please do that as well. And to finish off on a good note as well, this is the facilities. This is one of the main things I've tried to push in things some ideas for that I think need to obviously be improved in career mode. Let's start off with sponsors. So in sponsors, you'll be able to go buy sponsors. So you can go buy Nike, Adidas, BMW, all them ones and stuff, and just obviously get revenue from that as well. And obviously new sponsors for your kit as well for the. Let's say you could do it for this season or the upcoming season where you can actually like reserve an actual sponsor. That'd be quite cool to be able to do, and obviously have prices and stuff, and obviously how to buy them. And all that'd be quite cool to do, I think, potentially get some sponsors on your kits. Assign staff, so you obviously this means you can either fire or even buy new staff for your medical team or your training staff. So you can get some like goalkeeper trainers or like outfield player trainers and all that lot. Or even like maybe like a new what's it called? What they call like assistant manager and stuff. That'd be quite cool, I think, as well, possibly. Um, then obviously we do have the improved training ground as well. So obviously you can buy some new things for that, like maybe like buy some new goals or like equipment as well. So you can obviously improve your drills. Upgrade office. So that obviously just be able to upgrade your office as well, but quite cool to do. Edit stadium, as I mentioned at the start of the video, and design locker room. So this would be quite, I think, a nice little thing to introduce into a career mode, where you obviously have your dressing room, your players' shirts all hanged up and stuff, and obviously you'll be able to improve your interior, I suppose, in that, to be fair, possibly as well. So that might be alright to do as well. But as it says before in the tip bar at the bottom, buying sponsors for your kit is key to obviously bring money into your club. So that could be like a nice little thing to obviously earn money quicker and stuff in the game to help you out. But yeah, boys, that'll be it with today's video on FIFA 21 concept. If you want to see some more of these though, and obviously some more like information on certain things that you see in the video, let me know down below, boys, in the comments down below, and I will respond to them, or even get a video out if I can, very very soon. So yeah, today's like goal, if we can hit it, boys, 20 likes. Let's try and do it if we can. 20. I know it's quite bigger than usual, but this just took a long time to try and do, and I want to try and push this as much as I possibly can and try and get some more of these out in the silver future for ideas that I think need to be introduced into FIFA and stuff. But yeah, anyway, boys, it's been your boy Lordy, and I will see you guys in the next video, boys, and take care.